Good morning. Welcome to Wednesdays with Willa. I am your host, Willa White, and this is my weekly podcast show that airs on Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern on my Facebook page, Willa White Medium. It also goes out on the Lilydale Assembly Facebook page and also YouTube channel. And I am always excited to see what the topic will be for the coming week. I always get so excited about the various guests that I have on the show. We usually are talking about a topic relating to spiritualism, mediumship, healing, faith, family, or more. And this is year 7 of Wednesdays with Willa. So there are lots of past shows that you can enjoy. You can always watch it on the replay on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel. And a lot of people tell me that they enjoy learning and growing and seeing the conversations unfold. And I am happy to welcome back on my show today, Patricia Bell. Hello, Patricia.
Good morning, Willa. Always a pleasure to be with you. I so much enjoy talking with you because we always have these scintillating conversations, to say the least. Exactly. And today's topic is, what would you say it? Enlightening.
Every pun intended about that. Absolutely.
Exactly.
And for those of you who don't know who Patricia Bell is, she is a registered Lilydale medium, an astrologer, and your guide to the energetics of the upcoming solar eclipse, because our topic today is energy activations of the solar eclipse. We're going to cover why solar eclipses are so important, what vibrational effects that solar eclipse have on the behavior of humans, animals, and the earth, and why it's spiritually significant to be in Lilydale at this time. And I should mention that Lilydale, along with other venues in this area, this region that is going to experience totality in the upcoming solar eclipse, has a lot of events that you can check out on the lilydaleassembly.org website. Some of them are in person and some of them are on Zoom. So even if you're not able to make it physically to Lilydale during the solar eclipse time, you still have the benefit of tuning in and learning and being part of that solar eclipse energy. And I think it's great that so many places in our region that are going to experience this are excited. People are, families are coming in from other states to be part of this. And, I think it's great. We're going to mention a little bit later in the show some of the solar eclipse events that Patricia is going to be part of. So you can certainly sign up to be part of those. But first of all, let's get into this. What is the solar eclipse? What date is it? So everybody's clear. And what time is it? At least in Lilydale.
Okay. We just had a solar eclipse just the other day. It was a lunar eclipse. So we are in between two.
Okay.
Now, a lunar eclipse has a tendency to release and let go. It is called this time where we're looking at that we need to let go of the things that are not authentically in our preview. That who is it that we really are going to become? And what is it that we are not really part of our internal substance? But this eclipses are amazing. And the one that is happening on April 8th, 2024, is going to be an eclipse. And the reason that everybody is coming, NASA and everyone, is because our totality of the eclipse, which that means the totality of darkness, is close to 4 minutes. Now, this is much longer than the totality even at the last eclipse in 2017. But yet, Willa, oh my gosh, January 24th, 1925, the eclipse in Buffalo was listed as the greatest show on earth. And they talked about how the sun and the moon were having a tryst together. Aww. And such a romantic language,
Yes.
The sun and the moon come together. And I really want people to understand that astrologically, when we look at a person's chart, we're looking at the moon, which does affect your emotions, but we're also looking at the sun, which affects the consciousness. Now, how eclipses and spiritualism come together. Way back when, there were many spiritualists that were astrologers, but the one that we do know about is Andrew Jackson Davis, who was not particularly astrologer, but when he went into trance, he was the one that located Neptune and Uranus through trance long before the astronomers even got to be able to know their existence. So there is our connectedness as spiritualists to all things. And this is why, when you say, why is it important to be in Lilydale, or why is it important for this connection? It's because the reminder of how we are connected as spiritualists, as people, how we can spend the time, whether it's on the Zoom part or whether we're physically there, that we have the ability to connect with these energies and how we can make this happen. Historically, eclipses, there are many cultures that tell you do not go out and look at them. And because the sun and the moon coming together was a situation that could cause blindness. But look how far we've come.
The advancements of glasses.
Exactly.
Special glasses.
I mean, special glasses, right. And I understand that if you are here in Lilydale, you may find Reverend Joanne Copley Nigro and Carrie running around in the golf cart with glasses for people, making sure everybody is safe. And of course, if you want specialty glasses, they are going to be on sale with Lilydale's name on it at the arts and crafts venue.
And just a special note about the glasses, if you do actually wear glasses with lenses and frames, you're going to want to wear the solar eclipse glasses over those.
Absolutely. And if you're going to take photographs with the glasses, you have to make sure your glasses are on before you start photographing.
Yeah, you have to be really careful even with photography of that. Yes.
Because there can be special lenses and things like that. What people may not realize is that when the sky gets dark, you will be able to see the planet Venus and the planet Mercury. And there is talk of seeing the comet Pond Brooks that will be passing through Jupiter and Uranus. Now, why is any of this important? Because once upon a time, not centuries ago, in order to be an astronomer, you had to be an astrologer, because they even then wanted to know, what is the meaning of these stars? And the two scientists were together. In fact, at one time, you couldn't be a medical doctor unless you knew astrology. So we're looking at, what is it that this vibration of the eclipses can affect human beings? I mean, most of us understand that so many babies are born during a full moon, like they were just a couple of days ago, and that the new moon also has an effect on the body and the water and the ebb and the flow of what it is that is going on physically with us. Now, Lilydale is special because it has a high frequency. And there is beliefs in many ancient cultures that when this eclipse happened, that the higher realms can communicate, but so can the lower realms. This is why being in a place like Lilydale, which has a higher vibration, will allow that to happen. Now, once upon a time when eclipses happen, many, many cultures would run out and bang pots and do things like that so that negative spirits would go away. I want to recommend that everybody tunes in to this eclipse with their positive intention.
Yes.
And I mean, you understand about intention, Willa. When we come from that vibration of intention, it's really, really special. This eclipse has so much going on with it. I mean, we could stay here for days to talk about it, but we're here just to allow people an understanding so that they can open their minds and their hearts to what's going on.
Right. A few of the nuggets, the gold nuggets, as it were, in terms of understanding the solar.
Right.
Yes.
Now, the solar eclipse is in Aries, and Aries is the I am, it's the leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Most of all, it's your own personal authority of who I am. And you see, the first eclipse that just happened may have brought up some emotional stuff,
Right.
to look at who am I? Who do I want to be with? What do I want to do? And this emotional stuff may still be going on today because from one eclipse to the next, it opens us up because remember, that full moon, what brings in the tides and the emotions and everything, and babies, as I said. But we're looking at that at this moment to say, okay, where is my authorship? Where is the path? Because this is a nodal aspect that's happening. We're talking about it being at 19 Aries, which is pretty amazing because it's asking us to look at what it is we really want and what direction do we want to go in. Now, you see, when the other eclipse was in Libra that just happened, we have a tendency to people please. And we might say, oh, no, no, I won't do this. I won't do that. So and so won't like it. But that eclipse that happened to us, and it said, you're taking off that mask of people pleasing and you're asking yourself, okay, Willa, Patricia, what's in your heart? What is it that you really want? And because this eclipse is nearly 4 minutes, it is going to last. The repercussions of it will last for at least 4 years.
Oh, so every minute of eclipse equals a
A
year?
year.
Interesting.
Yeah. You see, the last eclipse that happened in 2017 was not that long, and it had its repercussions for like 2.5 years.
Mm.
This one is big.
Yeah.
This one is amazing. Now, traveling back to January 24th, 2025, NASA was here in
Oh,
Buffalo,
1925. Okay.
1925.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Was they were looking how it was going to affect the radio waves.
Mm.
Of course, they are going to look at, will this eclipse and its frequency affect our electronics?
Right.
Because solar flares are affecting us. I mean, have you seen all the pictures of the northern lights hitting lower than Alaska in places? I mean, people in Wyoming and Montana are showing great photos of northern lights. So there's always this interest about how is this going to affect us. Now, I know you mentioned about animals. Well, just think about it. They work on clocks, natural clocks in their body.
Yeah.
When it's nighttime, You sleep, you hide, right? You go inward, unless you're a cat, then you seem to be running around. And we're looking at theirs and how that was something really that we needed to see, how people would be afraid. Oh my gosh, the sun is gone.
Right.
And
Such a defining moment. Like what happened? It's a primitive culture feeling of who's to blame, who's mad at me when you feel cut off from the light. Yeah.
exactly. And a lot of people thought they lost their connection to God.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting that, and I can't say I can prove this, but biblically, they said that when the master teacher Christ was crucified, the sky went dark.
Yes, they do. Mm-hmm.
And so you say, wow, this it's spiritually significant.
Yes.
So, but yet that master teacher said to the other um, two men on the cross, you can be with me in paradise. Why? Because he was addressing at that time a high vibration. This
Mm.
is why, to me, it's so very important that you and I are talking now so that people can look at the higher vibration of what's going on and how they want to prepare themselves. You
Yes.
know, um,
So the effect of the solar eclipse lasts for 4 years. Is there anything before the solar eclipse and energetically that has? I know there was just a lunar eclipse, but is the effect always after the eclipse? Would you say?
it's all of the above.
Okay,
It's, we start to feel the vibrations before.
like
I mean,
4 years before,
no,
or
no,
okay,
because we have eclipses every year. We're going
okay.
to have eclipses in the fall. But guess what? On top of everything, Mercury's going retrograde. So that says it's going to be internal. And Mercury has been a shadow going, psst, psst, pack up your computers. Psst, psst. Make sure you're listening to the messages that's going on because this is really deep. So the eclipse season, this particular eclipse season, we probably started feeling it at the other new moon
Mhm,
that happened at 20 degrees of Pisces.
mhm.
And that new moon was saying, psst, what's your dream? What is it that you're dreaming? What is it that you want to manifest? So then we take that step, we move into this eclipse, and it says, okay, who is traveling down this road with you?
Mm,
You have to become your own self.
right.
You have to be the, captain of your ship. So, and, some people, not everybody's going to go down your path. There's going to be people, and, I commend everybody that is studying their spirituality because there may be some people in family or whatever that's going, are you really doing that? And you have to have that understanding and the courage because April 8th is going to bring courage,
Mm,
lots of courage to look at wherever we felt a wounding in our life. Like maybe you had some sort of wounding where you felt as though, oh my gosh, I can't be who I am because I can't speak up, because I can't do this, because I can't do that. And we're going to have to look at, all right, what was it that went on that stopped you from being all you could be? What was it that stopped you from doing what you thought you wanted to do? Be it your career, be it who you actually are. And so we're really asking ourselves, how can we love ourselves to the highest and the best? We've got so much love and support that can be around us. And this is what I'd like to see us all create for this eclipse. Is there going to be um, the technical aspects? You bet. I mean, because we are interested, and obviously NASA is. I mean, who would have thought in 1925 we were going to be on the moon? But what's interesting, Willa, is the eclipse that happened in 1925. The Mars was in 22 degrees Aries. Mars rules Aries. And
Mm.
so that 22 degrees Aries that was in that eclipse with the eclipse in Aquarius is connected to this one. That Mars at 22 Aries, here we are at 19 Aries. And yes, Pluto is in Aquarius. So it says, wow, you not only are doing this eclipse, but you're looking back to see some the last century,
Mm.
your ancestors doing. Look how far you've come.
Right.
And if you can look back and see, oh, wow, what happened in 1925? How far have we come? I mean, we wouldn't be on Zoom.
No.
I mean, who would have thought we would have had cell phones or walk on the moon, you know? But there was the Industrial Revolution, there was opportunity. I mean, Buffalo itself was going to explode with things that happened, and we had just finished World War One. So we're looking at, okay, what did we do then? And what should we do now? Okay. Um, these major solar eclipses, people go, oh, well, oh, maybe it's going to affect us one way or another because historically, the solar eclipses always affected the leadership. You know, there were kings that used to build statues of themselves so that the eclipse would take out the statue and not them.
Oh
There's,
my.
yes. I mean, the once upon a time, you know, we've all heard of the King of Siam, right? From
Yes.
King and I.
Okay,
But
nice.
the actual King of Siam had built a tower to see the eclipse, to invite people. And within 24 hours, he was bit by a mosquito and he left this earth plane.
Oh my.
Now we're looking at, oh my gosh, what's going on in our universe? And we've got a situation with the King of England, Charles, with Kate Middleton, with other people. And there is an opportunity where there is this consciousness, where there are people that can come and go. In fact, there are people that were born on this, born on eclipses, which gives them a different understanding of who they are,
Mm.
you know? And these are very, very exciting times. Now, Ptolemaic aspects.
Mm. Okay.
All right, like
Yes.
19 degrees happens to be a high degree in Ptolemaic aspects, and particular what it says that it rules the head.
Right. It's 19 is a number. It's usually associated with the Prince of Heaven.
Yes.
Yes.
So here we are looking at this 19 degree, and Aries rules the head.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why I'm telling everybody, wear your glasses.
Oh, yes.
Wear your glasses. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself. You are protecting yourself because it's going to rule the head and heads of state.
Mm-hmm.
and this affects our consciousness. So when you are in a high vibration, you are going to have your consciousness affected. It also has aspects of how can you and I look at this 19 degrees? We need to look at it, and this is a little bit more advanced, is there is an aspect of that degree that touches in with the heart. And so sometimes we really bury our passions in the heart. So this is something, and because it lasts for 4 years, that doesn't mean that, oh my gosh, we're going through this eclipse, that it has to happen. But in 4 years from now, when you've got your intention out there, you can set yourself in motion in a way that you never thought you could. But it's really, really amazing. Now, so many of us are looking at the fact that we need to say to ourselves, what is in my mind? What is going on around me? And yes, sometimes when these eclipses happen, other people around us are acting not normally the way they would. So we have to it's about you, about I am.
Yes.
And so you need to get really centered. Now, one of the other amazing things about this is one of my favorite asteroids is Urania. Urania was considered one of the nine muses, but she is the muse and the asteroid of astronomers and astrologers. And so, where is Urania at the exact time of the eclipse? Well, the eclipse is at 19 Aries, and Urania is at 19 Libra. So it's exactly in opposition.
In balance. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Urania rules the celestial voices. So we're talking about the head. We're talking about listening. We're talking about what is this eclipse going to bring to us? What are the messages? So, somebody might say, Willa, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what my passion is. Oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be an authority of what? But yet Urania steps in and says, not to worry. If you will be still, you can listen to the whispers. And I can understand that the ancients would bang pots. But quite frankly, I would really like to listen to the whispers.
Yes. Yes.
You see, we've got quite a timestamp because remember, the eclipse is going to start around 2 o'clock. The totality is 4 minutes. So the eclipse starts and then it gets to totality and then it leaves. And I'm strongly recommending everybody wears their glasses through the entire thing. The entire thing.
Yes.
But talk to me. Urania is so special. So you have plenty of time to listen to her whispers, don't you, Willa?
Absolutely. And I know when you and I were chatting before we decided to hone in on this particular subject about Urania, and I was looking it up, and it said that those who are most concerned with philosophy and the heavens are dearest to her, and those who have been instructed by her she raises aloft to heaven. For it is a fact that imagination and the power of thought lift men's souls to heavenly heights. And I think that's so beautiful that it's not just about the science of astrology or astronomy. There is that philosophy, that spiritual underpinning for this that we can link into. And as you say, and suggests so wisely that we listen to those whispers. And a lot of the self control and self discipline and self mastery that needs to happen during this time, and a true governing of yourself. Beautiful.
Absolutely. And Urania is beautiful. You can Google Urania and see lovely statues of her,
Yes.
and that she has that, and she carries that book with her of wisdom.
Yes.
And, it's like when I think of Aries, it's in this aspect is to thyself be true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What is the truth that you can hear from Urania that says to you who you truly are in your soul and spirit? And let's take that to another dimension.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at that, because it's really, really going to be a special opportunity for those of us, whether we're here online or whether we get to be in Lilydale in person, which I think is absolutely amazing, because we are going to be in a higher frequency. And how long have we been doing a hands-on healing and meditation in Lilydale, Willa?
Exactly.
So we can entrain with the energetics of it all. I mean, we've got it with the healing temple, with all of this stuff. It's that we can open ourselves up to this blessedness that can come through.
Mm.
I mean, we look at our world and sometimes all of us say, gosh, what's going on here? But if we can lift our spirits and allow these celestial aspects to take us higher,
Mm-hmm.
we can find ourselves in a place in which we are able to move forward, you know? So it's sort of like how it's all connected. Now, here's a really interesting thing. Jupiter and Uranus are coming together on April 20th. This is a magical degree. Magic, magic, magic. Why? Because one of the last times Jupiter and Uranus were together, we had Woodstock. And what were they talking about there?
Uh-huh.
Love,
Love.
love. So, are we being asked to look in our hearts about love? Remember, there is a potential for the Pons Brooks comet to come across in certain areas, and it'll go directly past Jupiter and Uranus that are within orb of one another. So it's saying, psst, as a sidebar, we want you to understand how Jupiter and Uranus is going to be in your life. Now, Jupiter is like Santa Claus, and Uranus is like lightning and quick and sudden change. And why is that also being highlighted at this time?
Mm-hmm.
It's something like, wow, we are in big change. And when you look at the chart of the Jupiter Uranus conjunction, Venus is at 19 Aries. So here we are talking about love and values and the higher vibrations.
Yes.
You know, um, 2122 happens to be a significant degrees in Iraq and Iran and Israel, the whole Middle
Mm.
East. You look at that and, you say to yourself, okay, all kinds of aspects can happen and all kinds of things that may happen.
Yes.
But I guess my point about bringing up all of this is that, yes, we are going to be on that day of days of April the 8th, but it's all coming together for us if we will listen to Urania, if we will work on ourselves, if we will put ourselves in a position to, you know, like prepare ourselves for this eclipse, or contact, somebody who can look at your astrology chart and do this. Because we've had astrologers that have done work in Lilydale before, way back when. If did you ever see the film Postcards of Lilydale?
Yes.
Well, then you might have noticed there were signs outside of people's houses that said astrologers. It's so funny how we are intimately connected to all that is.
Well,
And yet,
I just love how you've explained the synchronicity of what's happening celestially and also energetically at that time. And that there's a link with the personal responsibility of the individual to get clear within themselves and to listen to their inner guide, their connection with the divine during those moments, and then for the next 4 years at least, right? to feel that connection with the divine, the cosmos, right?
exactly. And um, if you looked at the astrology chart of modern spiritualism,
Yes.
this eclipse is happening on that ascendant, which means there's going to be a doorway opening for more people to understand about spiritualism. And
Mhm.
absolutely about, because our tenets are about personal responsibility for all we think, all we feel, and what we do, that this can be an opportunity for people to understand spiritualism and the God of their understanding.
Yes. Yes.
Because we are not soliciting dogma or doctrine. We're saying, oh, you can be who you are as long as
Yeah.
you're responsible for who you are and you
Um,
understand natural law that if you're pookie, pookie stuff comes back to you. I mean, I'm putting that
you know,
humor comically.
I had a thought about this because the symbol for spiritualism is the sunflower, and it helps to turn people to the light, right? And here we are. This is the solar eclipse. It has this effect of blooming something new within a person and really redirecting people to the light.
Exactly. And what was Lily Dale's name once upon a time? The City of Light. Okay, yes, technically we know that it was because we had electricity, but what a metaphor.
I think it really was about the light, the inner divine light for most people when it came to that name of the city of light. And I know some folks are asking, because it's important that you cover Lilydale and spiritualism being affected by this. So if you can lean into the effect it could have on Lilydale, but then also some people are wondering if certain zodiac signs will be affected more than others. That's a question that someone sent me.
Well, you know what? Not only the zodiac signs, but everybody's chart and where it's placed, you know? So if you have a lot of Leo in your chart, and this is a fire eclipse, it's going to trine it, you
And that
know?
means what?
I mean, it's
Trying it.
going to make it easier for you to understand who you are.
Oh,
Because
nice.
people with fire energy are, always dancing in the light, to say the least. But, if you've got a lot of water in your chart, I mean, what does water do to fire? It can put it out.
Hmm.
And then you can look at the wind. What does wind do to fire? It can make it greater or it can put it out.
Mm, mm.
And what does fire do to earth? Well, it burns up a lot of things. So, the earthiness in the chart you have to regard as what it is that you need to do for you.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, the nodes are very important in this eclipse. And the nodes are also called the dragon. And the north node is the dragon head. And the
Mm-hmm.
south node is where we released. So the dragon tail was the last eclipse. This is the dragon head as to where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I think is fascinating is, oh my gosh, this is the Chinese year of the dragon.
Right. That's why I'm like,
So,
yeah.
oh my gosh, if I was going to do your Chinese astrology, we would look at the what element is it in water or fire or things like this. How is that going to work for you too? So, I mean, can we be specific to your chart? Absolutely. And this is why astrologically having your chart done and doing it with someone that you know, I mean, I've been doing this 55 years. And being an astrologer, I mean, I love Andrew Jackson Davis because he touched in with the essence of the planet. So you don't have to be an astrologer. But I really like the touchstone of having an astrologer that can address the fact that you can do what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And, as you know, Cassandra and I are astrologers that are going to be very present for people who want to even answer more questions about this.
Right, because it goes beyond just a zodiac sign. Everything is very particular. There's so many nuances to an individual's chart that would never be able to, generically or generally speaking, offer enough information for a person. So you're right, they would have to have everything pinpointed personally for them.
Like I happen to have uh, a moon in Aries, which is going to be kissed by this solar eclipse. And, but I happen to be a Virgo. So I understand that I need to make my preparations that I don't get burnt out
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in doing the work that I need to do,
Yes.
and that I may need to use that earthly energy inside of me to say, okay, Patricia, you're being illuminated, but what is it with your earth sign that you've always wanted to grow?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
What is it within your physical growth, maybe even your body or your diet or any of the, I mean, it's so wide.
Yes, and it happens in the springtime. Here it is. We have an eclipse that's happening in the springtime, which is also a time of renewal and rebirth, and that things can come forth from it. We have only to plant the right seeds and cultivate it. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And the thing with that Uranus Jupiter conjunction is going to address not only seeds for ourselves, but actual food itself.
Mm, mm.
So, there's so much going on, and you hear people talking about how they're planting their gardens. You see, as soon as Uranus got into Taurus, I was up there advocating everybody needs to have their own garden. You know, try those hydroponics. I have one girlfriend here in Florida. She took her porch and is growing herbs off the railing of her porch. So she's got tomatoes and things. We've had a little bit of a chill. So she just takes the baskets, bring them inside, puts them back out in the sun. But isn't that a sense of personal responsibility?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That we can be capable of taking care of ourselves.
Self-sustaining in many ways.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And, maybe that Jupiter Uranus that comes together gets you to plant a garden. or so many other things that you can grow in your life. I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful aspect where it's placing. And so, because it has the Venus at 19, it's like the door has knocked during this solar eclipse so that you can actually say, wow, Venus, that is my desire.
Mm, that is
I
my
mean,
desire. Hmm.
it's so wonderful. Um,
So it's a
when,
deep, abiding love connection with yourself and with others that can occur during this time.
yeah, because, you know, Aries can be one with all there is.
Right.
And that's a sense of unity and diversity and everything. As you said, Willa, springtime comes and we grow many different crops,
Hmm.
many different ideas. And what you want to grow or what your thoughts come to you can be totally different than what happens for me.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that is so very, very special. I mean, individuality. I mean, because you know that we are, as spiritualists, free thinkers and independent type of people. Of course, my moon in Aries just, oh, yes, I'm signed up because I want to be who I am.
Right.
But can't you feel the flow that even in our children? I mean, I know in the children's program how our young people, I mean, are so passionate about who they want to become.
Hmm. Hmm.
I look at the kids from Parkland, from down here in Florida, that how they became activists, how they are speaking their minds, and how this opportunity opens a door for, as you said, springtime, new beginnings, young people
New
to be
beginnings.
able to take the understanding of their identity.
So I'd like us to circle back around because and initially in the beginning there was a lot about the leadership and how that's can change during this time, and it is about governing of self but also governing of a people that comes into play with this. And I think when people in their search for individuality and of self, and they can cross a line and want to govern others, and then at the same time they have to be willing to be governed by other laws that are in effect. So could there be an instance where people start to recognize where that balance should be, especially because we have the Aries, but we also have the Libra that will help to balance that, correct?
Absolutely. And, remember, the Aries is a oneness.
Mm-hmm.
That's all there is. Of course, if you want to talk about the United States, we happen to have one candidate that was born on an eclipse.
Oh,
And
really?
if I was going to talk to him, I would say, please do not look at this eclipse as you might have in the past, and be really conscious of what's going on.
Right.
And the other candidate has is going to have this eclipse that can be very what can I say? It can be in his day-to-day house of what he is doing and
Mm.
how he is going to take action on a day-to-day basis. So we're looking at two candidates. We're looking at potential leadership. Whatever these two men choose to do can affect all of us in the US. And because the United States has this presence around the world, it can also affect others, just like the King of England You know, you're looking at him and you're looking at Princess Kate. And what does this say? Because the last eclipse was people that you work with.
Okay.
Now, who would have ever thought, oh, maybe you would have thought the King of England, because of his age or whatever, could be vulnerable. But I don't think any of us thought that the Princess Kate would have been in such a position either. But there's a lot of things that the last eclipse revealed to us,
Mm-hmm.
and we're hearing things and we're seeing things. I mean, not to get overly political, but I never thought that ISIS would have ever been able to penetrate Moscow and happen that shootout at a concert in Moscow that did. That is similar to what happened to Hamas. It's like, okay, what's happening here?
Right.
Because, we are looking at this. But remember, Mars rules Aries.
Mm-hmm.
In this eclipse chart, Saturn is kissing Mars in
Okay.
Pisces.
Mm-hmm.
Pisces can be, if you will build a structure for your spirituality, for your dream, whether no matter who you are,
Right.
you will be able to accomplish this.
Wow. So yes, this is very deep. The spiritual significance, energetic activations that are going on with this. And I just feel called at this time to, in that prayer of this, is to affirm that I see God's government in all things.
Absolutely. That's brilliant. It's
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant,
Yeah.
because that divine love
Yeah.
can fill everybody's hearts as long as they're willing to receive it.
Right. And that when we pray about things, that it, I think it's a beautiful thing if we can pray for the leaders of our country, pray for the leaders of all the nations of the world, of all the local public officials, everybody, that we pray with them and about them in that higher vibrational way, so that we're assisting in the highest and best, instead of a low vibrational thinking of what's occurring. So we have to maintain that. It's that's part of our responsibility.
It is, and we have to include maybe our crazy uncles or people in our family that,
Or the hierarchies, yes.
yeah, that
Yeah,
may decide that they could use some balance.
that's right. But
No,
I affirm that God is governing my life and therefore governing all things. And
absolutely.
I think that's listening to the whispers, to that deeper soul voice. Then we have the true adherence to what God's path is for us, rather than forcing our own will, our own
Yes.
opinions forward.
And should you bump into someone that is difficult, because not everybody is going to
Oh,
vibrate at the highest level,
right.
just say, remember you are loved.
And really do what you can to see them as a soul, and
Exactly.
honor that aspect of them. And it's very possible that they will remember who they are. As
So
long as you remember who you are, it's going to be easier to remember who that they
that's
are.
right, because you're shining that light,
Yeah,
which mirrors for them the opportunity to lift their frequency,
right,
to find the oneness, like the namaste
right.
in all of us.
So we shouldn't be looking at the solar eclipse as feeling overshadowed by darkness. We shouldn't be thinking of it in those terms. We should be looking at what is going to be revealed on the other side.
Well, think about it from a yin yang perspective.
Okay.
When things get dark, it is an internal time, just like when we go to sleep. We turn the lights out and we go inside and we dream. And here with Saturn and Mars in Pisces, it's going, psst, psst, your dreams are really important in this eclipse. So to me, it's an incredible, that darkness is the feminine internal creation. I mean, that exists for us, that is wonderful, knowing because we're advanced. I mean, people in ancient societies, they were scared because they didn't know the sun would come back.
Right.
And then the crops wouldn't grow. And then the fears. And the thing is, we are inundated with other fears nowadays. And if we can go into that internal space of self, even if it's just for those 4 minutes.
Even if you're in a group of family or having a big solar eclipse event, you need to also go within yourself. There's a united fellowship that can occur during that time, but it's also that intention that you are putting forward.
Well, I'm going to, it's a little bit, this is my 4th eclipse, as I mentioned to you before, Willa.
Yes.
And when I went to the eclipse in Hawaii in Kona, I was out in a field and everything got still. Everything got still. The animals, the roosters, everything got still. The next eclipse, I was in Finland, and I was with a group of people as this eclipse happened. And I'm sitting there with this huge, huge group of Finnish people, and they started singing the song Imagine
by the Beatles.
Oh, I get chills just thinking about it. It was like that was their intentionality, to have peace. It was just amazing. And, so I would strongly recommend that maybe you want to play Imagine when that 4 minutes is
It might be a better option than there's been somebody that's been floating around the internet that there's that song, The Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Yes.
They say it's approximately the same duration as the, total solar eclipse. So, Imagine might be a better option though.
Well, but for some people, maybe they need their hearts eclipsed.
Well, there you go. You've been talking about love. You've been talking about Venus.
Themselves, but of course, the song is about heartache
Exactly.
rather than about peace. But can you imagine being an American in Finland, really and all of a sudden, hundreds of people are singing this song? I mean, I was so overwhelmed.
You were blissing out.
Oh, totally. I mean, it was magical to begin with, to be able to get there. Yeah. And that it was an eclipse. It was just so awesome. And when I was at the eclipse in 2017, the people that watched the eclipse, and I was able to see Mercury at that eclipse in Columbia, South Carolina. Even though it was a shorter duration, everybody got very quiet. We were out on the lawn by the river, and there was a stillness. And I think somehow that stillness is an internal signal to be inside of who we really are instead of the outside chatter.
I think there's a still point that happens. They call that the still point within a person when they reach that, where they don't feel all this pendulum swinging. They're at this point of absolute silence within themselves, and all is well. And they're just in that state of being.
And some people like it so much they become eclipse chasers.
There you go. to capture it again and again and again.
Yeah, like what the next one's in Africa and things
Right.
like that. But I think this is a great reminder for those of us who are spiritual people that
Mm-hmm.
this is really very special
And
to
you'll
our.
get out of it what you put into it, basically.
Amen.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Now, I
Absolutely.
want to tell people about some of the events that are coming up before we close for the show. We've got some more things that we want to share with you all because, Patricia and others here at Lilydale are running some very special events for the solar eclipse. And you can find out more information about those on the lilydaleassembly.org website. But what are some of the things? I know you're doing something on Saturday, the 6th.
Yes, from 1 to 4 o'clock, myself, Cassandra Butler, we kid that we have over 100 years of astrology between the two of us,
Yeah.
And what's exciting about that part of the Zoom is we are going to bring in the United States chart, how powerful this eclipse is on the United States. We're going to bring in Buffalo's chart, and we're going to bring in Lilydale's chart. And we're going
You're
to
going to get really into the details of all of those.
Yeah, so you get to see, on Zoom, the charts, the slides of these things, and we get to talk about them on Zoom. And yes, it gives people an opportunity. I love seeing people's faces on Zoom. They get to ask questions, they get to be a part of it.
Right.
And then we have our beloved Joanne Copley Nigro, who is our reverend pastor here, who adores animals and has the City of Light Church where we can have animals. And she's going to talk about the what happens to animals during an eclipse, so that you have a better understanding. And not to steal her thunder, but I am going to say, please, please, people, I know we love our dogs and stuff. If you're going out to see the eclipses, doggies will follow you and do what you do. All right. So tune in to find out more about that. Okay.
Right. It'd probably be best if you're going to an event for them to stay home so they're not going to look at the sun because you never know when the blindness could affect later on down the
Exactly.
road.
And the last thing you want is anybody to be affected by it in an adverse way.
Exactly.
And then we have Russell Brown. What he is doing is he's going to be playing the harp to give us a sense of spiritual embodiment through the music of the harp, but through physical connection. So you're getting an ability to understand what you can do physically to prepare, as if you're, because we're on Zoom, he's doing it for you as you're seated in your chair. Now, embodiment is that you get to the highest level and then you allow it to affect the cellular aspect of yourself.
Beautiful. Now, I know there are some other events that are going on that will be in person here in Lilydale that people can take part in.
Oh, yes, I'll be at the Church of the Living Spirit on April the 7th at 10:30, and we're going to be able to buy Lilydale Solar Eclipse shirts, T-shirts, and hoodies, which I can't wait to get mine. And then there's going to be a whole arts and crafts.
Yeah,
There's
whole vendors are going to be
vendors,
set up for people to enjoy.
absolutely,
And
and
that's days, I believe. I believe that's Sunday and Monday.
It
for
is. It
that.
is. It is. It is. There's going to be also sound healing with Nancy Lombardo, and then with Greg Keene. There's going to be also sound healing and meditation with him, and there'll be an astrology class also on the 7th with Kim Ferris and Ellen Bourne.
Beautiful.
But our our Sacred Grounds coffee shop's going to be
Yes,
open.
thankfully. We'll be there for people to get their nibbles and coffee and things.
Yeah, also
Yes,
the
they're
Lily
opening
Dale
early
cafeteria,
just for that. Yeah.
right? So, I mean, Lily, and you can come into Lily Dale without a gate fee.
Yes. Yes.
I
And
mean,
just to remind everybody, the summer season for 2024 will start on June 21st and run till September 1st. So look at the lilydaleassembly.org website so you can understand the solar eclipse events, but then also what you need to sign up for the summer, because there are a lot of great workshops that are coming, and you're going to want to get booked for lodging and you're a medium if you're wanting to have a reading, because people are already booked up for some of the days already.
well,
So
I'm sure you are. Well,
yes, so make plans in advance, and whether it's coming for the solar eclipse or for the summer season. So a lot of great events.
it is. And, you know, don't you feel like this is like the kickstart
And it's
of,
a bit of a kickstart, yeah, for
of
that and of
spiritual,
energy. Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's really exciting to watch all of that come together. And I just want to tell people that next week on my show, I'll be having another Patricia on the show. Her name is Patricia Price, and she's a retired registered medium. And she'll be coming on to talk about the vortexes of Lilydale. So if you are planning to come for the solar eclipse or for the summer season, that might be one that you're going to want to watch, so that you can, when you visit Lilydale, you can start to enjoy the energy of those special spots and really tune in to some of the energy vibration of Lilydale further. So yes.
Well, doesn't that also say to you how special Lily Dale is to be here during an eclipse, knowing that there are these vortexes?
Yes.
You know, I know Patricia wrote a book about them, and that, you know, that might be something people would like to catch up on before she, you know, even comes on, so that they can have that, bring it with them to the eclipses. What could you say?
Exactly.
So you know where they are. Who knows? This is so
It
exciting.
is so
All of
exciting.
us to come together and to unite spiritually.
Oh, I almost forgot. I have some other events I need to mention.
Okay.
So Patricia Bell will be at the Church of Living Spirit on that Sunday, the 7th. I will be via Zoom, the featured speaker and medium for a church in Canada known as the Healing Spirit. So people can tune into that event that weekend. And then I also have a new round of my Monday Night Circle series that starts on April 15th. So you're going to want to reserve your spot now. It's a 6-week series. So we work toward mediumship development. I've got a wonderful core group of folks that are there every time, and they're really developing so beautifully in their mediumship, and I'm very proud of them. And also on April 13th, I'll be teaching an online class, which is connecting to your spiritual support team. And that goes well beyond spirit guides. So I'm excited about that event as well. You can find out more information about that on my website, willawhite.com. And you can find more information about Patricia Bell on her website, which
is patriciabell.net. And if
Mm-hmm.
you need some more astrological advice and want to look at your chart, just, you know, go on the site and email me, and we can do that for you as well. You know,
you're going to be really busy with that, I'm sure.
Well, I'm sure we are going to be busy because this is a very, very special time.
Yes.
And, you know, we want to share the love as much as we can. And I think that when people tap into their dreams, they're going to want to spend that time with you, Willa, and develop themselves, and to know where that support is. Because that's a brilliant way to know that you're loved.
Amen. Oh, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, Patricia. It's just been wonderful. I can't thank you enough for sharing your expertise and your knowledge about the upcoming solar eclipse. Just a I said you were going to be the energetic guide for the solar eclipse, and you certainly shown up and done that. Please let us know that you liked the show, and please tune in next week when you have another great show in store for you. All right, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.